Does the type of type you use matter when it comes to your brand? Do you need to be worrying about what type of fonts you are using on your website, social media, and other business graphics you're creating? Hi, I'm Maureen from thecreativeimpact.com, where I help creative entrepreneurs, coaches, and bloggers with strategic show website design, templates, and business trainings so that they can stand out, sell more, and stress way less about the design and tech in their business. Today, we are focusing on fonts, what role they play in the branding of your business, how many you should be using, and where to find the right ones for your brand. There are a lot of decisions when it comes to creating a cohesive brand that represents your business, right? Your brand is so much more than just your logo. It's the whole package, including the colors you use, which we talked about last week. It's the authentic voice that you use, and yes, even the fonts you choose are part of your brand. So simply put, fonts communicate messages. And since your brand is all about communication, the fonts you use should send the right message about your business. So for instance, if you're a law firm, you're going to want to use a font that likely conveys professionalism and trustworthiness. On the other hand, if your ideal audience is moms of preschoolers, then you might want to play around with something that conveys a more playful, youthful energy. The bottom line is that the fonts you choose should be appropriate for both the product or service you're selling and your target audience. Okay, now that you know why your font choices are important, let's talk about how many fonts you should be using. Now, I recommend sticking to 2 to 3 fonts max for your brand. Any more than that, and things can start to look just way too busy. When I'm designing websites, I like to stick with one font for the headings, one font for the paragraph text and subheading text, and then one font for the accent text, often a script font or something more fun depending on the project. The same can be done for any social media graphics you or your virtual assistant are creating. Okay, you now know to focus on 2 to 3 fonts, but where do you find these fonts for your brand, and how do you know how to find ones that work well together? There are a ton of sites that offer free and paid fonts, and I will link to some of my favorites in the show notes below. But the first thing that you need to know is that not all fonts are free. Just because you find a free font online does not necessarily mean that you can use it for commercial use, i.e. on your business website. It may be a free font for personal use only, or it may include a commercial use. But to determine, you need to check the licensing information associated with the font to see how it can be used. If you want to ensure that you are using truly free fonts, I highly recommend using Google Fonts. I use these in my show website templates, and I use 2 of them on my own site as well. All the fonts in the Google Fonts catalog are open source and free to use in commercial projects. I will leave a link for Google Fonts down below to access these fonts directly. But since there are hundreds of these, like literally hundreds and hundreds, instead of searching for all of them, I want to recommend the website FontJoy, where you can browse them, but also start pairing them together. JoyFont is a really cool site that allows you to generate different Google font pairings. So anytime you click this button that says generate, it will come up with a new font pairing for you, and it will tell you what these fonts are on the side. So this is for the title, heading, and paragraph. And if you find one that you like within here, say you like this top font, you can just click that and that will lock it. And then it will only generate different heading and paragraphs below. So you can browse through and see if one of these font pairings really appeals to you. If you don't want to waste time trying to figure out on your own what Google fonts pair well together, I will leave links to a few great sites like this one, heyreliable.com, that pairs fonts together for you so you can see the Google font names and exactly how they look together. So you can see right now, this is Roboto Condensed Bold and Cabin Regular. As you go down, it gives you all different ones. So you can get a lot of inspiration from this and see if any of these really jump out to you as something that would represent your brand well. Now, if you purchase a Showit website template from me or you're having me create your site for you, a huge benefit is that Showit already has all of the Google fonts preloaded in here. So if you like Roboto, Condensed Bold with Cabin Regular, they're already in here. And all you have to do is click to add them. So let's find Cabin. Cabin Regular is right here. So when you click it, it comes over here and you just click Add Google Font, and now it's one of the fonts that you can use within your design. You can also easily upload your own custom fonts into the Showit platform and then use them in your website design as well. I think that most small businesses can definitely find a font pairing that they like within Google Fonts, but if you're looking for something just a bit more unique or you want a fun accent font, my favorite place to find these types of fonts are on Creative Market. This is where I purchase my accent font from for my site, and they have a whole font section. You can browse by category, browse by style. The sky's really the limit. They have so many fun fonts in here. Again, when you find one that you like and you click on it, you want to make sure that you're buying the right license. So you can see the different licenses here. There's a little question mark to learn more about them. But once you purchase your font and you download it, you can upload your custom fonts onto platforms like Canva, as well as your Showit platform to use in all of your designs. There are a ton of other places that you can find free and paid fonts for your brand. I will put a few of my favorites in the show notes below, but I do not want you to get overwhelmed with all the choices out there and then get stuck in analysis paralysis, just trying to figure out your fonts for weeks or months. Don't do that. While your fonts are important, as long as they're not too busy or distracting and they pair well together, your message and content will play a much bigger role in the decision for someone to work with you or purchase from you, okay? So spend a few hours figuring out your font choices, but then move on to the more needle-moving activities in your business. All right, that's it for today, guys. Check out the show notes below for all the links and more information on how I can help you grow your business and your brand. Oh, and if you stumble upon a font that you love, feel free to share it with me in the comments below. I would love to check it out. Keep making a creative impact on the world, and I'll see you next time.